Okay, guys, welcome back to the Alpha Vault. This is your host, Jeff Sokol, and today we're going to be talking about breaking free from the golden cage, okay, and how smart professionals, probably like yourself, or you wouldn't be listening to this, are reclaiming their not only their time and their health, but also their wealth. And that's what we want to focus on today, because we always focus on freedom, right? So freedom is something that we always want to talk about, something that we always want to bring to everybody, not only your time freedom, but also freedom of your financial freedom and freedom of purpose. I mean, you get to do what you want with your time for what's important to you, and our freedom of who you hang out with and when you hang out with them, and freedom of location and all these other types of freedom, right? We talk about all these things here, but today we're going to be talking about reclaiming your time, your wealth, and ultimately all those types of freedom. So if you're like a financial analyst or an engineer or a skilled professional who has done everything right, but you feel stuck still, then this episode is probably for you. Today, we're going to expose the hidden trap that keeps even the most educated and successful professionals locked into a cycle of dependency, and more importantly, how some are breaking free. So you might have the title, you might have the paycheck, the respect of your peers, but deep down, you know that something isn't right. Maybe you started to feel like no matter how much effort you put in, you're still stuck in the same quote unquote pay for time model, right? Maybe inflation is eating away at your earnings, or maybe despite your best efforts, you still don't feel financially secure. But here's the thing. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Let me say that again. It's not your fault. And today, we're going to challenge some of the biggest myths about financial security and success. And I'm going to introduce you to an alternative path, one that's giving professionals like you a way to build wealth and reclaim control over their own time. So in the first part of this, we're going to call segment one, we're going to talk about the illusion of security. Let's start with a reality check, shall we? From a young age, we're all told the same story. Study hard, get a high-paying job, save money, invest for the long term, retire comfortably. Okay? Kind of like what I would probably equate to the Dave Ramsey model. It sounds simple enough. We've heard it over and over again, but here's the problem. It's a broken model. Think about it. You trade your time and your expertise for a paycheck. But who controls that paycheck? Your employer, the market, the economy, God forbid. The moment that paycheck stops, your entire financial structure collapses. Right? So the moment that paycheck stops, you don't have any other way to support this thing that you have. It's completely dependent on the income that you've come to rely upon. And let's not even get started on inflation, taxation, or the fact that traditional investments like quote unquote maxing out your 401k and playing the stock market are slow, unpredictable, and leave you at the mercy of forces that you can't control. Anybody remember 2008, 2009? So what happens when you realize that you're stuck in a system that doesn't serve you? You might wake up one day and realize that your career isn't a vehicle for freedom like you thought it was, but it's what we're going to call today a golden cage. You might be comfortable. Okay, maybe you live in a nice home, you're comfortable, all your bills are paid, but you're not truly free, are you? So, what are professionals, smart professionals, I'll say, what are smart professionals doing instead? What is this new trend that we see, and why are there millions of people jumping into it? And you probably heard of it, but you don't know anything about it, or what you think you know about it, there's a lot of misconceptions. So you probably have heard misconceptions that have kept you from jumping into it. And we're here to clear those up too. Now, some people recognize this early, this problem that they have, this golden cage issue. They see the writing on the wall and they decide that rather than just working harder, climbing a corporate ladder, if you will, or hoping for a better bonus, they're going to take a different approach. The solution isn't about taking bigger risks. It's about developing skills that allow you to generate income independently. I'm going to say that again. Generate income independently without being tied to a boss, a company, or a fragile retirement account, because your retirement account is fragile. Again, remember 2008 and 2009. If you weren't around for that, and you didn't have that, we've had friends that lost 40 to 90% of their retirement account. They could not retire because of that. 40 to 90%. It's a real risk. Can you imagine being 65 years old, being told you're doing everything right, saving your 401k, and you've got a couple of $1,000,000 in there, and you're about to retire? Then 40 to 90% of it is wiped away in the blink of an eye. There's nothing you can do about it. So this isn't about taking bigger risks. You're already taking a risk. Now, I know financial analysts who have spent years crunching numbers, optimizing risk models, only to realize that they're stuck in the same system they're analyzing. I know engineers who have solved complex problems for their companies, but haven't figured out how to solve their own financial independence. For these professionals, and for you, you don't have to be an analyst or an engineer, but we're just talking about professionals in general. You might be a doctor. I know engineers that have solved this, but for these professionals, the path out was not and is not passive investing in your 401k or cutting expenses. It's about developing active, repeatable income streams that allow them to operate independently and on their own terms. Don't you want to live this on your terms? Like my friend Laura Louise Blott says, live life on your terms. Life on your terms. I love it. I love that when she says that. It's one of the most powerful things in the ways that they're doing this, trading. Now, before you turn this off, you need to understand a few things. Everything you heard about trading is wrong. If you've heard that it's risky and you have to risk your own money, none of that's true. So let's just hear me out. Because I know that this turns a bunch of people off, say, oh, trading. Well, I'm not a trader. You don't know what you are. Believe me, I've taken painters before that told me that they're not traders, and all of a sudden they become traders, making thousands of dollars at a time per trade. You don't know what you are. Now, when I say trading, I don't mean reckless gambling or playing the stock market like some damn casino. I mean understanding financial markets the way professionals do. Learning how to spot shifts, making strategic moves, and capitalizing on opportunities without relying on Wall Street or a boss or a pension plan. Remember, you're already at risk. You're at risk of losing your job, and you're at risk of your retirement plan that you're saving up with going to hell in a handbasket. So imagine being able to generate consistent income like we do from anywhere in the world. You don't have to clock in, and you're going to make more money. Now, without asking for permission, without needing a degree in finance, and without risking your own savings. That's what we're talking about here. I don't want you to risk your money at all. That's exactly what some professionals are doing. Some of people that we actually work with. They've realized that instead of waiting for financial freedom, they can create a system that they can create it right now by leveraging a system that works in any market. Does this sound like risk to you? It's not, because you don't even have to put up your own money. This is just about learning a life skill. So if this conversation has struck a nerve, it's because you already know the truth. You, specifically you, were meant for more than just grinding away at a job that's going to keep you locked in place. And the good news is that there's a way forward. I want to invite you to watch our free 5-part video series where we will break down exactly how this works and how you can take the first step toward reclaiming your financial freedom that has been taken from you, by the way, by the education system. And we'll get to that in another episode. But in this series, we can show you why traditional financial advice keeps professionals trapped, how to recognize market structure shifts. That means when we teach you when the market's going to move in this video series, and how to get in and trade it with confidence. We teach you how professionals are building independent income streams outside of the corporate system, and how this skill set is helping people transition from career dependency to financial freedom, and also how you can get started doing that yourself. It's a quick 5-part video series. It doesn't take you 5 months to go through it. If you're consistent, they'll send you another video every single day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that video series. This is just for listeners of the podcast, okay? So I'm going to put a link down in the bottom here, but I want you to understand that your time is your most valuable asset. Do not waste another decade waiting for someone else to grant you freedom. Take control and take action. That's what this is. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for listening to the Alpha Vault. And if you found this valuable, please do me a favor. Share this with a colleague or a friend who needs to hear it. Follow us, on YouTube and on Spotify or anywhere else that you can find this podcast. And also, more importantly, perhaps the most important, actually take action. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep questioning the system, and keep building the life you were meant to live. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.